Welcome back, super friends. Today we are going to be looking at fractions and mixed numbers as quotients. So you'll need your math notebook or folder, pencil to write with, and don't forget that super brain of yours. Stay tuned for the video. All right, super friends, we are going to be practicing with fractions and mixed numbers as quotients. Remember, quotient means the answer to a division problem. So that basically means that we're just going to be solving some division problems, and they're probably going to give us fractions and mixed numbers. So that's basically what we're doing today. Stuff that we've already known, is just we're going to practice it in a simpler manner so that we can see that, oh, every division problem equals a fraction or a mixed number or a whole number. So let's get started with our first set of examples. The first one says, find each quotient, which means the answer to a division problem. Write each answer as a fraction or a mixed number. So we're going to solve everything, and then we have to write the answer as a fraction or a mixed number. So let's get started with the first one. The first one says 11 divided by 6. Now, remember, I taught us in our previous lesson that the first number is going to be our numerator, the division sign is going to be our fraction bar, and the second number is going to be our denominator. So numerator, fraction bar, fraction bar, and then denominator. So with that being said, we have 11 over 6. Okay, now we want to simplify this because this is a fraction and that's good, but it's improper. Since it's improper, we need to make it simplified and it'll probably turn into a mixed number. So now we need to think, how many 6s can I get out of my 11? Well, if we didn't know, we could do our 6 facts. And I see that we can only get one 6 out of that 11. And then what would be left over? What's 11 minus the 6 that we just took out? 11 minus 6 is 5, and then we always bring over our denominator, which is going to be 6. So our answer here is 1 and 5/6. That's basically what we're doing. So it's very, very basic equations that we're solving, and we're trying to turn them into a fraction or into a mixed number. That's all that we're doing. So let's do the second example. It says 23 divided by 10. All right, so again, I'm going to get my 23 up top. My fraction bar means the same thing as divide, and then my 10 will be my denominator. So how many 10s, since this fraction is improper, how many 10s can I get out of 23? Let me get my 10s facts over here. So I have 10, 20, 30. I see that if I go to 30, that's too much. So I can get two 10s out of my 23. And what would be left over? 23 minus 20 equals 3. So now there's 3. And what's my denominator? Bring it over, that's 10. Our answer is 2 3/10. All right, let's go to our third example. All right, our third example says 5 divided by 9. So that is going to give me 5 up top, my fraction bar, and then 9 on the bottom. Is this an improper fraction? No. The way that we know it is not improper is because the numerator is smaller than the denominator. Since the numerator is smaller than the denominator, it is not improper. And now we can just see if we can simplify. So let's get our 5s facts. 1 times 5 equals 5. That's about it. What about our 9? 1 times 9 equals 9, and 3 times 3 equals 9. Do any of these look like they're the same? No, except for the 1, right? So if we just divide both of these things by 1, it'll give us the same answer. So that means that this is our simplified answer. So our answer is just 5 over 9, which is 5/9 or 5 divided by 9. That's what we would put as our fraction. All right, let's do our number 4. It says 18 divided by 4. So if we did that, we would have 18 on top as our numerator. Our division sign would be our fraction bar, and then the 4 would be our denominator. Now, is the numerator bigger than the denominator? Yes, it is. 18 is bigger than 4, so that means that it is improper. Since it is improper, that means that we can simplify making a mixed number. So let's see, how many 4s do I get out of 18? Let's get my factors going. That's 16, and then that's 20. Obviously, 16 is going to be the biggest one, and which one is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can get 4 4s out of 18. And what would be left over? What is 18 minus 16? That is going to give us 2. So my numerator is now 2. And what would be my denominator? My denominator will still be 4. This would be our answer, but it's not yet simplified, because what is 2 over 4 equal to? We can turn this into something. We can simplify it. So now it's going to turn into 4. Our whole number stays the same, but 2 over 4 is the same as 1/2. So it's going to say 4 and 1/2. That is our final answer. Of course, 18 over 4 is the same answer as 4 and 2/4, which is the same answer as 4 and 1/2. But 4 and 1/2 is the very simplest way to write that answer. So let's do our next examples. All right, our next example says, tell how much each person gets when shared equally. So that means that we're going to be dividing, because it says shared equally. That means divide. All right, so number 5 says, 2 girls shared 7 yards of ribbon. So remember our little hint. We never break apart people in half. We're never breaking people in half. We can break things in half, but not people in half. So let's get started. We always start with what's being shared. That's going to be on top, being shared. We have our fraction bar and then the number of people. Okay, let's fill that in. So what's being shared? Obviously the 7 yards of ribbon. So 7 goes on top. And what are the number of people? Number of people are 2 girls. So it's going to be 7 over 2. Now let's look at this to see if we can simplify it. Is 7 bigger than 2? Is our numerator bigger than our denominator? Yes, it is. And since it is, that means that we can make a mixed number. So let's see how many 2's can I get out of 7. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Obviously, 6 would be how big I can go. And that is our third multiple. So that means 3. I can get 3 2's out of the number 7. And what would be left? What is 7 minus 6? That equals 1. So our numerator is going to be 1, and then our denominator stays the same. So that'll be 2. So our answer is 3 and 1/2. That's our simplified answer. So the answer to number 5 is 3 and 1/2. Let's look at number 6. Number 6 says 4 cousins share 3 pies. Again, we're talking about what's being shared, and we put it over the number of people. So what's being shared are the 3 pies, and the number of people, it's 4 cousins. So let's see if we can make a mixed number. Okay, so now we need to see if we can simplify. Looking at our numerator, is our numerator bigger than our denominator? 3 is not bigger than 4, so that means that it's not going to give us a mixed number, but let's see if we could get anything simplified. I'm going to get my 3 facts, which is going to be 1 times 3. That's it. Let's look at the 4's. That'll be 1 times 4, and then 2 times 2. Is anything going to be the same? Let me fix that too. 1 times 4 and 2 times 2. Is anything going to be the same besides the number 1? No. Since that's the case, our answer is simply going to be 3/4. That's our final answer. So the answer to number 6 is 3 over 4. Let's look at number 7. Number 7 says Lindsay divides 40 by 9. Between what 2 numbers is her answer? So what that means is that she's just dividing, and we have to see when she gets her answer, it's between what 2 whole numbers. If we look at A, it says between 2 and 3. If we look at B, it says 3 and 4. C says 4 and 5. And D says 5 and 6. So we're trying to see between what 2 numbers is her answer. Obviously, to get started, we have to start dividing like what she said. So Lindsay says 40 divided by 9. We can write this as a fraction. The 40 would go first, fraction bar, then the 9. Now we can see how many 9's is she going to get out of that 40. If we do our 9's facts here, we should be able to see that's 27, 36, times 5 is 45. Okay, so it looks like the 36 is as big as we're getting, and that's the 4th number. So that's going to be 4. And then what's going to be left over if we do 40 minus 36? 40 minus 36, that gives us 4 left over. So the 4 goes on top, and then our denominator stays the 9. And so now looking at this, what is our whole number? Our whole number is a 4. So which one of these do not start with a 4? Because that's as low as we're going to go, is that 4. So A is no. B says the biggest number is 4, so that's not true. And then C has the 4 there, but D says 5. That's not, 5 is not where we're starting. 5 is probably where we're ending. So it looks here that our answer is only going to be our C, and that's because the lowest number is whatever mixed number we have here. So since that's the 4 that we're starting with, the only way that we can end up is to stop at 5. So it's going to be 4 to 5. All right, use these notes to help you solve your questions for today.